welcome back to Chai, Coffee and Customs podcast. Today we have a pretty chill episode. This is a podcast about third culture experiences presented to you by third culture kids. I'm Anu, one of your hosts.
And I'm Lakshmi, one of your co-hosts.
And I'm Jill, another co-host.
Today we have a pretty chill episode, as I said. We're just going to deep dive into a Reddit thread that I found on Immigration Canada. So we are based in Canada, and it was pretty interesting. It spoke out to me. It was posted 3 years ago by a user, Yura, and I'm going to read it, and then we'll discuss it.
Okay. Sounds like
Okay, so the title of the post is Post-Immigration Depression, ? And that's what drew me to it.
Okay.
I didn't find it relatable, but it piqued my interest.
Okay.
I am an immigrant in Canada. For the past years, my one and only goal was becoming a permanent resident in Canada. Now that I've achieved the goal, I'm feeling lost. I lost goals in life. I was working as an early childhood educator to achieve my goal mentioned above. And I always wanted to go back to the field where I worked in my own country once I became PR. I tried to find a job in the field after becoming PR, and it was just hard with lack of opportunity where I live and other facts. Maybe I wasn't in the field for too long, or my experience is from outside Canada. While I was in the process of PR, I took online certificate courses offered in CA related to the field, hoping it would help upgrade my resume and whatnot. I was only able to submit my resume to a handful of companies, as mentioned, lack of job opportunity here, and didn't even hear from any of those companies. Now I'm thinking, do I even like that field? Or is it simply because I have the job experience? I don't know what I want to do. How can I get out of a rut? I need some help and advice. Thanks in advance.
And hopefully it's been 3 years and that person has found what they wanted to do. But that whatever you just read is 100% relatable. To me and Kedar especially. Because when we landed, we were never painted or never came with a rosy picture that we're going to get a job tomorrow and we're going to work and everything is going to be fine. We did come with the mindset that there is going to be some struggle. There's going to be a little bit of updating of our skills to get the job that we want or get into the field that we need. We were well aware of that fact, and I think when we landed the first 1 month, we kind of getting into the system, opening bank accounts, getting a feel of where we were staying and navigating and everything. Like we kind of just were settling in.
Yeah.
Month 2 hit. It didn't kind of, register again that we started applying for jobs. We were updating our resumes and we didn't really think too much about it.
Yeah.
As the months rolled on and as we originally were staying with our uncle and auntie and then we shifted to an apartment of our own and started paying rent and we still didn't have jobs. And as we saw our bank account getting depleted and yes, whatever this person, Yura, said, sending out resumes with zero, very little to no response. Going for interviews, but then getting ghosted. Going for interviews and being told that, oh, this job, you're perfect for this job, and then not hearing back. Following up and not hearing back, or following up and getting a rejection. It just started coming down and down and down, and to a point where our bank account got depleted. We didn't have enough saving, no more. Basically, we couldn't make rent for the next month. The struggle was real. It was very, very real. And it was quite, I wouldn't say depressing. I would say it was very disheartening because we thought, we have all this education and skills that we'd like to apply and, work, but we're not able to. We're not able to show what we are capable of or can do or grow ourselves. And it took me almost a year to get a job. I also went to a Humber College actually to get my skills updated and get some kind of certification done. Kedar did some online courses. And finally, I landed my job after almost 11 months of being here. And Kedar took a little bit longer. It took a year and a half. And also, both our first jobs were not well-paying jobs. They were just basic entry-level pay. But we just took it. It was whatever is, foot in the door, we're going to get it and go.
Yeah.
So are we working on what exactly we studied? No. Are we happy? 100%. 100%. I think what we did was we used our skills and transferred it and
Yeah.
changed our fields. It was probably for the best. I know a lot of people come here with jobs or come here and land jobs within a few weeks or a few months. And I know people who are still struggling.
Yeah.
So everybody has their own story, but for us, it did take a bit of time. And yeah, we always remember those days and always remember the struggle because it keeps us grounded, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I completely relate with that post.
I think I mentioned this in one of the earlier episodes that I was one of the lucky ones who arrived here with a job. And though I did resign from my previous opportunity, so I didn't have an internal transfer, but I networked quite a bit. And the manager that I was working with in New York was recruiting, so that's how I landed this job. Though I had to go through interview, and I completely get you when you're saying that you applied for so many roles. So in 2018, when I was applying, when I was living in New York and applying for jobs in Canada, I recently printed out all my applications. I applied to about 500 roles. Out of those 500, I interviewed at three places.
I completely relate with
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
and then out of those three places, only two places responded back to me, and they were a bit skittish about hiring someone from New York who has a bigger portfolio to hiring someone in Canada in a similar portfolio but smaller. That's one of the reasons why I couldn't move at that time. And this time around, when I did move, government questioned me like, you had PR since then, why didn't you move at that time? So that's why I had to print out all the documents and everything. So that's how I know, like, I applied for 500 jobs.
Yeah,
I
I had
printed,
folders, I remember.
yeah, I printed everything and I was like, look here, I applied for 500 jobs. I didn't get anything. And it's a bit daunting. Like, you moved here as a family, like, you moved here as a couple, and I am single. So it was hard for me to make that decision at that time, saying, okay, I'll quit and move. One, I was single. Two, all my savings were tied up
Well, even as
somewhere.
couples,
Yeah,
it's a struggle because I know marriages that have ended because they were not able to do,
yeah,
like, it depends on how strong your relationship
exactly.
is.
So I feel I was lucky this time around because I had this opportunity. I moved. One of the struggles that I had was how cash rich I am, right? Like, when I was working in Singapore, my taxes were lower, my income was higher. I moved here, I took almost 20 or 25% pay cut. And then I was living in downtown paying rent. It felt like I'm living paycheck to paycheck because 40% of my income is gone in taxes. There was one time I had to ask you for money because I was like, I don't have cash right now to cough up for this. Like, it was probably like $400, but I was like, I don't have this $400 right now. I will pay you back. So things like that, like, you felt you were not cash rich. And there, even now, like, after having several increments and coming back to, like, now after 3 years, I'm back to the salary that I was in Singapore three years back. And I still feel at times like I'm living paycheck to paycheck because things have become expensive over the last 3 years. And now I have additional expenses. Like, I didn't have a car, then I have car insurance and everything. So that there are things that are expensive. So even though my income grew, my expenses grew as well. So it's that struggle hits me a bit hard. And then one thing that I did notice was in Canada, we talk about transferable skills, but it's very, very hard to express those transferable skills unless you have work experience in Canada.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, if I didn't have this opportunity, and I'm lucky that I'm doing the same job that I was doing in other parts of the world, though I never worked in what I studied for. So that ways I was fine, but I'm doing the same job that I've been doing for many, many years. So that one thing, that struggle I've seen is, if I'm not already been doing a similar role, it's very hard for me to convince people to say that I have that skill. Maybe not at the level that you have it because you've been doing that role for 10 years, but I have that skill. I have transferable skill from this role. So it's very hard to convince that. So and there are very limited and few people who will listen to you, and they'll get that understanding saying, yes, I get it, like, yeah, okay, you have sales experience, you can do this role, or you have design experience, you can do this role. That the thought process is super different from other parts of the world, and that's not a Canada problem, that's a North American problem.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, no, I think it's not a problem. I think it's a Canadian thing because US will still take a chance on you sometimes. Maybe your experience was different, but generally speaking, I think US does take a chance on you,
Yeah.
and the growth there is a lot faster
Mm.
compared to here. But I will say, after getting the foot in the door, and once you are able to showcase your skills
Yeah.
and able to, basically work and get that experience, and people kind of recognize you because now you're trying to go a little bit above and beyond to say that, hey, listen, you've hired me, I'm happy, thank you, this is what I can do. I do find that depending on which employer you're
Yeah.
working for or working with, you do end up growing. Like,
Yeah.
I love it's a small company that I'm working for. They're a family owned company, and I just absolutely loved working with them because they've just been so good to me. And
Yeah, that's what I tell. Like, I speak to a lot of people who are moving from different parts of the world. That's what I tell them. Like, get any job,
Yeah.
get an entry level job.
Yeah.
Don't care about money, because some people come with an expectation saying that I earn like 200,000. I need a job with 200,000. You will never get that. I
at
like
least not right away.
not right away. Yeah, like I said, I took a pay cut
Yeah.
because you guys told me, like my brother and you told me that take a pay cut. It doesn't matter. Just come, get a job, and
You
once
will
you start,
eventually grow.
yeah, you will eventually grow, and that is happening. And that's the exact advice that I give other folks, because I'm like, what you need, like you're immigrating right now, you need a secure job to pay your rent, buy groceries, fend for yourself,
Yeah.
get a job, and then start looking for other opportunities. But I also tell them get a relevant job,
Yeah.
because there are people who like get, let's say, I know someone who's in marketing or advertising. They got a job in retail and they are struggling right now because they can't find a marketing and advertising job. But in the same way, if the same person had gotten a sales job in a small firm, they could have translated that
Yeah.
into a marketing role. But then again, like, I don't know the struggle that they went through looking for an opportunity and they had to settle for a retail job. But then that's there. That struggle is definitely there for everyone. Even if you come here with a job, the struggle is real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've spoken a lot. What about
Sorry.
you? I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think my experience was slightly different. Like when I first landed, finding a job was not a huge challenge. It took me like about
you
a
came when the
month.
market was at its peak.
Yeah. So at that time, but what I will say was that applying for jobs was not it. You had to go out and network.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's still the case
Yes.
now. You only get a foot in the door if you network and if you know, because they'll remember you. And when I say network, I don't mean like just go and meet them once and then like send them a thank you email and then you're done. Like maintain that relationship.
Yeah.
Like if they mention something like next week is my cat's birthday, message them on LinkedIn and say like, oh, happy
birthday to your cat.
or whatever, right? Like or like if they post something, like it, comment,
Yeah.
engage. It seems like a lot of work to get a job, which sucks because it shouldn't be so difficult. But unfortunately, that's just how the market is. For me, things turned, I guess, when COVID hit,
Yeah.
because I got laid off. And at that time, finding a job was very, very difficult. I was, getting ghosted. First of all, I don't think there were even any jobs available to apply for. The only advantage was that you could apply for remote roles. So I could
Yeah.
apply for roles in the US or in the UK. But even those were very, very limited. And that's when I kind of just like said, screw it, I'm just going to start my own thing. And I did start my own thing. And then in that, I didn't have to, the way you had to prove yourself with your transferable skills, I didn't have to do that because I was a business owner, or I am a business owner.
Yeah.
So I just make it seem like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Maybe I may not. Maybe I do. No, I do. I know what I'm doing. But I did have to take, like, I learned certain transferable skills, or I learned new skills that now I'm able to apply to other clients. And so I think like from a business owner perspective, it's not easy, but I think you have a lot more control on your narrative because you can kind of you have a portfolio to prove what you've
True.
done. Whereas when you're doing it with a job, like sometimes you may not be allowed to show the work that you've done, or you're not
Yeah.
allowed to talk
Yeah.
about it and things like that.
There are some
So
NDAs and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, so I think like from that perspective, I do relate from the COVID standpoint because I've also reached a point where like my bank balance has gone to like $5 or whatever, and at that time like we had CERB, which was great, but that just covered rent, right? And then you just have like
Yeah.
100 $200 to manage
And also, everything
groceries.
has become quite expensive now. So even if you get an entry level job, unless it pays a certain amount, it's still a struggle. But then, to Joe's point, like whether you're earning $40,000, whether you're earning $200,000, because of how the tax structure is in Canada, even a person who's earning $200,000 can have their own financial struggles compared to a $40,000 earner. I mean, I'm not saying that the person who's earning $40,000 as I'm not comparing the two. I'm just saying that because of how the tax structure is, that you're not going to be cash rich.
Yeah.
You're going to be living on credit. You're going to be living on these debts, right? So it's that's just the cultural, like that's just the financial culture here, I think,
Yeah.
which it took some time to get used to and understand that, okay, I'm not going to shift jobs for $5,000 more because it's really not going to give me anything. It's just going to give me $20 per month extra after all the tax cuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make sense. So I might as well try to grow within the same company.
I remember having that discussion with my team. Like when year end came, we gave them salary increment. I'm their manager, and one of the employee was like, "That just means like I have $15 more." I'm like, "Yeah,
Ideally, if you look at it, yes,
yeah,
that's your milk money.
that's not even like
That's-
one go trade."
That's exactly it.
So I get it, but then back of my mind is also like, okay, if I'm paying this much taxes, how is that helping me in like services provided? Like, right? Like if I'm driving, the roads are still bad in our village. And then if I have to go to the hospital, nobody will look at me until I'm emergency case, right? And then it took me 2 years to get my family doctor because everybody was full. So how I was so sick during pandemic one time, like it wasn't COVID, but I just had like this really bad onset of cold. And I walked to 3 walk-in clinics. Nobody would see me. The fourth walk-in clinic, I was able to see someone.
My
So-
medical experience here has been very different.
Yeah.
I have had only positive experiences. Yes,
I've known people who were waiting 3 years for a knee surgery. In that 3 years, their second knee got busted. So then they had double knee surgery. So things like that is what is shocking for me. And if I compare the same, like if let's say we take example of India, we can just walk into any hospital and say,
when
I
you pay,
need
you
this.
can walk in and
Exactly.
get stuff done.
But in Singapore,
Don't
I didn't
compare,
have
because
to-
Singapore is a tiny island,
country.
and they are also very, very strict on their immigration.
Yeah.
So you can't compare Singapore or New Zealand or even in Australia for that matter. You look at the size and population of this country,
Mm.
and the size and population of that country is miles away.
But then even like if I'm paying that much taxes, I feel like my
100%. The system is broken.
system, yeah. So like what I'm getting out of it needs to be like when people say yes. So I don't have kids. When you say school is free or school is something good, I agree. Okay, good. For me as a single person, I feel medical is something very, very important.
Like I said,
have
I've
to-
had very different experience.
Yeah.
with
But that's
medical. For
also
me,
because medical is provincial and you were in BC for quite some time.
even here, I've had only good experiences.
I've had bad experiences.
I have never struggled to find a family doctor. When we landed and when we were living in Brampton, I found a family doctor
That
very
was
quickly.
then.
Even here, when we moved, we found a family doctor fairly quick. I'm not saying that it's perfect. Yes, the system is broken for sure. I think that the government needs to bring in more qualified people and also qualify them not like You have to come here and now write 10,000 exams to
Yeah,
become a doctor or
I
a nurse.
remember having an Uber driver once,
There
and
you
I
go, yeah.
started talking to the Uber driver. He said that he was a doctor in Pakistan,
Yeah.
and then he can't practice here right now because he has to take these 100 certifications, and he's 50 years old and he doesn't want to, so he's driving Uber. So things
There
needs
are
to
people who are qualified and can do it,
yeah,
But are
but
not able to.
they're not able to because
Yeah.
it's just not being recognized.
exactly.
Like, what is the difference in getting
Then why
an
get-
operation in India or Pakistan versus an operation here? They're
Yeah.
cutting the
And
same
then-
body open
And
to
then
do stuff.
why do the skills worker immigration?
Yeah, then why do
when
you
you're
have
not,
exactly
when you're not taking their skills
Exactly.
and accountability?
Exactly. CRA, please listen to us. CIC.
I want to read some of the comments on the thread.
Sure.
Butch Dean CA. These are all anonymous names. Okay.
Okay.
I think COVID has everybody depressed, causing them to believe the tiniest thing bothering them is causing the depression.
Oh my.
Since all these lockdowns and IRCC becoming understaffed, the immigration process has become ruthless as well as finding jobs. Immigration to Canada was hard enough before the pandemic and it has made it a whole lot worse. You're going to have to hang in there because things always get better.
So wait, hang on. So the thing is about how they're struggling to find what they want to do. Fair enough.
Plus, they got their PR, which was their goal.
And now they don't have a
Job that they want.
job that they want or a goal to achieve.
Yeah.
I think COVID changed everything for sure. Changed everything in a different, like, everybody's mindset has changed.
Yeah. This is a very nice comment. I emigrated from Canada, not to Canada, and I remember breaking down in a public parking lot because I missed my home so badly. If you manage to immigrate without hitting a sad time, you're not normal.
It's true though. It
I
is
love
very
that.
true. It's very true.
Yeah.
I felt like that in US because even though I had friends, I wouldn't meet them quite often, and it just felt like office to home, home to office.
Felt like a
office to-
robotic
It
thing,
was
yeah.
so robotic. I think that was one of the reasons why in those 2 years I was like, I need to move to Canada, or I need to go back to Singapore. It kept happening, and then universe just made it happen
Yeah.
to go back to Singapore.
This person continues to say, recipe for success. Friends. Go meet new people every chance you get. Friends happen when you have a regular routine. Hardly anyone makes a friend from the gym after a single chance meeting. They make friends with the person who they see regularly on Thursday evenings at 8 p.m.
What happens on Thursday evenings 8 p.m.?
What happens on Thursday evening at 8 p.m. stays at Thursday 8 p.m.
Same thing for running, attending church, bars, performances.
Yeah, I
Friends
guess you
make
gotta
you
go
feel
out.
like you have corrections and roots.
Connections.
And roots, and you'll definitely be happier. 2. Getting a job is tough in Canada. Take a bad one if you have to, and don't stop looking until you find a good one.
That's what happened with
advice.
Kedar.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened with Kedar. He took a job, and then as soon as I got something that was more corporate based or office based, he quit and started looking for something on his own. Now, yeah, that's when the whole couple thing comes into play. I mean, we had our own struggles and we had our own demons to fight.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then 3, experiences. Take risks. Visit places that you normally wouldn't visit. Your goal is to create stories that your grandchildren want to hear. Good luck. The only people that say immigration is easy are the agents.
Very. That's a good comment. Who's that?
Maynard 2.
Maynard too. That's awesome.
I love that.
That's
Wait,
a good one.
your agent did say that it was difficult.
Yeah, our agent gave us a not real,
Realistic.
gave a like, he didn't give a rosy picture.
Yeah.
And also we spoke to our uncle and aunt who also gave us a very real
Yeah.
picture. They said that once you make it, it's a beautiful country to stay in, and I completely agree with them. I absolutely love it here.
I had no expectation moving here, but you guys were like, it's okay, just move here. Even if you don't have anything, you have us.
Exactly.
Move here.
I told her the same thing.
But that's the thing, right? Like, I didn't want to be dependent on
Same.
you guys. So,
Nobody's being dependent. If that's where the whole community aspect comes into play, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you cannot rely on your village, then who are you going to rely on?
yeah.
That's true.
If you can talk to your neighbor and ask them to shovel your driveway, why can't you come and be with your sister and your brother in the same country?
Yeah. Okay, that was a good discussion, and a very short one. I think
Yeah.
we'll keep this one short just because I don't know if you want to read like
Maybe do one more
one more
comment.
comment.
Yeah.
To the original poster, same. We spent 5 years fighting to get PR. It was our number one land only life goal. We sacrificed a lot and it eventually paid off. About 24 hours after we got our PR and our initial high wore off, I was left with this weird feeling of, okay, now what? We dreamed of this moment for years, but it didn't bring me the level of happiness and content feeling I assumed it would provide me for a lot longer than it actually did. But in reality, I think that's what happens in life when you think, if I just get X, then I will be happy and I will have accomplished life. But then you realize that's not the answer. Us humans are ungrateful little shits and are always chasing something.
Ungrateful little shits. That should be on a t-shirt.
And X, Y, and Z will never be enough. There'll always be a new goal, a new next thing to chase. When I realized this, that's when I started feeling content. New goal: save for a mortgage and move from Vancouver to Alberta. This time, I'm not under the illusion that when I reach this goal, that all will be right with the world and I will always be happy.
That's a nice
It's
comment.
true though.
Yeah,
It's very true. We're always trying to chase the next thing, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's small or big, it doesn't matter. Like in the end, we're all the whole job thing. We're always trying to get that next $5,000 or $10,000,
Yeah.
right? Even if it pays us only $15 a month after taxes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I like that. I like this. So this was by AWJDMD. I don't know how to
Okay,
say that.
that's some good comments, guys, or girls, or people.
I know, very interesting thread.
Yeah, very interesting thread.
Because usually, like this Immigration Canada subreddit is about like, what is your PR status?
Yeah,
I applied in November, whatever. What's your PR status? But I saw this and it caught my eye. So
that's nice.
Okay,
Post immigration
yeah.
depression. That's a good one. Very nice one. Yeah.
all right. Thank you for tuning into this episode. If you see any interesting Reddit threads or posts that you think we should discuss on this podcast, please send them our way. We would love to hear your thoughts on this Reddit thread. So please do share your comments on the YouTube video. And if you're listening on Spotify, feel free to leave your comments on the Spotify comment section or come visit our Instagram profile and leave a comment on one of our posts. That's at chai, coffee, and customs _pod. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again soon.
Bye.
Bye.